But alrighty, fellas, welcome to another PokeMMO Achievement Showcase, or stream recap. Fuck it, we keep it in. Stream recap, your daily source of tips, tricks, information. There will be an Achievement Showcase, don't you worry. Your daily source of video entertaining content on your second monitor. Maybe you'll learn something, maybe you'll see something else, be excited about something, or just have fun watching some PokeMMO while you play PokeMMO. Let's go ahead and jump into the normal stuff, the catch events that we have to go ahead and cover that we've got right over here. So we've got another week of the 8-week tournament catch event. So this event is part of the 8-week tournament catch event, and it's at noon ET. If you're watching the stream recap today, if you're watching the stream is tomorrow at noon, 19th of July, over at P2 Laboratory. I just uploaded a quick guide on how to get to P2 Laboratory in case you don't know, because this catch event was coming up, and there's also alpha dittos over at that spot pretty often. So I have a new guide on how to get to that location, which is like not the trickiest thing in the world, but you have to take some pretty specific water flows, and if you've never been there, it's a little tricky, right? 19th of July, Sunday at noon. You got 1 hour to catch Watchog, Herdier, and Ditto. Nature bonuses are +3 for Adamant, +2 for Jolly, and +1 for Quirky. You've got 1 hour, or sorry, you got a prize. Why am I so? My words are just off today. Apologies, fellas. The prizes are a non-shiny Watchog and a non-shiny Herdier. Not the most exciting prizes, I know, but this event, once again, is part of that 8-week tournament. If you don't care about these prizes and you just want to catch a 100+ overall score Pokemon and submit it to a staff and then move on, you can do that. You can do that. I recommend trying like a 120 or a 150 plus. That's pretty rare, to be fair. But like a 120 plus is ideal. You can submit early and then just not play the whole event. And that allows you to get the 800 qualifier points you need for the finale, which the finale has shiny Archon, Zorua, and Larvesta up for grabs. Huge rare shinies. Next up, we have the shiny Litwick catch event coming up on the 20th of July, Monday at noon ET. Celestial Tower and Unova, you got 1 hour to catch Litwick for +2, Elgyem for -3. Nature bonuses are +2 for Bold, +3 for Adamant, and -3 for Careful. You got shiny Litwick up for grabs. Everybody should need a shiny Litwick, dude. Chandelure is an amazing Pokemon in both PVM, PvP, utility, Flame Body. You don't really need a shiny Flame Body these days, but it's a fantastic Pokemon in every way. Everybody can use themselves a good IV shiny Chandelure. Next up, a Farfetch catch event, potentially teasing, I think, the idea of potentially new spawns. This is on Thursday, the 23rd of July at noon. Not a noon catch events, noon ET, that's my time zone, at Route 39 in Johto. You got 1 hour for Farfetch, Meowth, Magnemite, and Rattata, and you've got a shiny Farfetch up for grabs. This is a rare Pokemon, at least right now. It might get a horde. It might get a new shunning method with the upcoming encounter counter changes. We're all waiting for that big update in PokeMMO, the encounter counter changes, the Pokedex Overhaul. It seems to be coming before Shiny War, which will drop on not August 1st. If it depends on your time zone. It's at like midnight UTC August 1st, which is actually at like 7 or 8 p.m. on July 31st for me. So make sure to go convert your time zone and don't be late for Shiny War, and double check on when that is for you. You want to make sure to just keep an eye on that, be aware of that, yada, yada, yada. That's just Farfetched up for grabs. Next up, we do have our daily item market check, and we have a weird one today because Mysterious Gem Clusters, the item used to make all of the 50% type boosting gems, Dark Gem, Rock Gem, Ground Gem, all the items that boost a move by 50% based on its typing for one turn, right? 50% is a massive, massive boost, and there's no like downside or restriction into being locked into a move. For example, Ghost Gems have been used in the past for certain raids, for the Pumpkin Boss. These gems are really, really good in both PVM and PvP. For some reason, Mysterious Gem Clusters, the item that is used to create them, has seen a pretty steep decline over the past few months, starting in May, which is also very interesting. Usually you would expect this like, okay, post-event season, post like February, so like in like March, you would see these go down in price because there's not as much demand for the type gems, or maybe people are farming Phenos a bit more now that the event's over. I cannot tell you why this decline is happening. I actually don't know. Yeah, people liquidating, someone said. I don't know. I can't imagine that many people hold like giant stacks of Mysterious Gem Clusters. The only way to get Mysterious Gem Clusters in PokeMMO is from Phenos. And once you complete your Pokedex, most people don't go farm Phenos. People are saying 4-0 because England just scored again against France for a 4-0 third place game for the World Cup. That's nuts. Holy shit. Anyways, I could not tell you why this decline is happening. It's a pretty steep decline, and they've dropped from 6,400 Pokeyen to around 5,400 in the matter of a month or so. maybe a month and a half. And prior to that, they kind of have historically, they've been around 7K historically, anywhere from like 6 to 8K though. They kind of followed the same trend of the overall deflation in the Pokemon economy over the past year or so, and came down from 7 to 8K to around 6K for the past year or so. But now going from 6K down to 5,400 at such a steal. Again, you don't see any other periods of this. I guess maybe here, but even that's from 6,800 to 6,500. Like, it's a 200 Pokeyen decline versus this is like 1,000. It's new. I don't know the reasoning. It is new. It's important. It's good to know about stuff like this. It's good to just be aware of it. So we don't need to know why or solve it immediately, but it's good to be aware of big market moves like this with mysterious gem clusters. So keep an eye on that. Maybe it's a good time to stock up if you want to, or if you want to, maybe there's some profitability in buying them and making gems. If you can find a little margin there, sometimes that pops up. Double check the math if you want to, but that's, you know, to my knowledge, I don't know why it's happening. Just an interesting market move to go ahead and talk about and be aware of. Alrighty, fellas, but next up we have the achievement showcase to go ahead and cover. This is the achievement showcase, the place where you can flex your Pokemon achievements. This is the salt of the earth Pokemon players showing off what they got today, the rewards, the prizes, the part of the journeys that you don't always see. And if you want to be involved in it, you can post your own achievements in my achievement showcase chat within my Discord. Let's just go ahead and start things off, fellas. This is someone's second ever OT shiny from Aldi Scarlet. 34,000 encounters, a very deserved, very hard-earned shunt for Minchino. Congratulations, gamer. Nice, quick, simple second OT shiny. I'm curious to see your third now. Next up, someone went 80,000 encounters dry. I love the dry streaks, man. Please share your dry streaks, share your dry hunts. I think these are some of the most impressive things in Pokemon is when you go dry for a shiny rather than even just getting lucky. 83,000 or so encounters for a shiny Jigglypuff. What a fucking hunt, dude. Congratulations. I'm glad you broke the streak and got out of Jigglypuff jail. Next up, we got a beautiful looping around story. I was watching Patrouski's live stream recap with the Spiritual Catching event, and what a coincidence. Remember that random strangers helped me get my mall trays. You'll never believe it. I was in the same person's shiny link who helped motivate him to get mall trays, and this was his second shiny. Got himself a shiny Smeargle. Congratulations, dude. Congrats. Next up, Cassandra, who was in stream earlier, got their second shiny. Was a phase shiny. They were doing ×3 hordes of hoping for Vol picks, and they ended up getting a 2×31 phase though. 2×31 Spatak and speed Rattata. Not the best stats for Rattata, but I like that you have this little posed picture with like the spring flower hairpin in your hair. Great vanity. That kind of matches the rat weirdly kind of well in my opinion. I think it's super cute. You showed him some love even on a phase shiny like that, you know. Next up is Big Red. Finished this a while ago, but finally decided to share. This is like a really wholesome story. I got my first shiny Geodude while farming drought Torkles for Pokeyen, and then I found a second one during a big multi-part catch event back in 2024. After I, didn't have either of them self-destruct, I was like, you know what? I might as well go for the third one. And that's how Geodude became my first and so far only Pokemon I've ever intentionally shiny hunted. This guy is not a shunter. He's just a gamer who fucking gets so many encounters from money making and other grinds in PokeMMO, dude. All of my other shinies have been coincidental. Mantine, Donphan, Dodrio, all were from XP farming passively. Mightyena from attack EV training, and Growlithe from hunting Raichu. Mienfru from sheer luck walking through Victory Road. The moral of the story is you don't need to be a shiny hunter to end up with some cool shinies. I fucking love this. Miguel in chat, I see you, brother. What is up, man? Much love, dude. But dude, shout out to one more time, Big Red. I think it's a really cool story. You don't need to be a shiny hunter to appreciate shinies and get some cool ones like that. Next up, Slivy, 525 hours played, got himself a shiny Kangaskhan from a catch event recently, which is fucking sick. Congratulations. Also has a shiny Pikachu, shiny Axew, a Woobat, and a shiny Spinda, and then all decks done, all regions. I like this little 5 hours recap of his account very quickly. From Team Synergy, man. Another Team Synergy member on the rise. Who would have thought? Nice job, dude. Nice work, gamer. Next up is Neko. Hello, I don't post a whole lot, but I thought this was pretty cool to mention. Team Fate is having an in-team shiny war, and my group has been behind a bit. Although last night I had some crazy luck to hopefully catch us up. Was going for a shiny Trapinch, only to get it super fast. He got a shiny Trapinch in like 800 encounters, I believe. This is back-to-back low encounter shinies. I think you got a shiny Trapinch in like 800 encounters, and then a Pidgey in like 159 encounters, if I remember correctly. This is 2 shinies in less than 1,000 total encounters. That is fucking sick, man. That's exactly what you want to see during a shiny war. Congratulations to you, Neko. Next up, we got ourselves a 4x31 wild Ditto. I don't think people realize how rare this is / can be. This is about a 1 in 74,000 chance, if my memory serves me right. A wild 4x31 that is not an alpha or a legendary, because obviously alphas have 2 times guaranteed and legendaries have 3 times guaranteed. A wild Pokemon like this to be 4x31 is about 1 in 74,000 Pokemon. It's a once in a lifetime thing. To get it on a Ditto is so sick, dude. Congratulations. This is like, imagine Ditto farming. This would be worth a lot of Pokeyen. There's not, you know, a lot of IVs are down in price. Yes, but 4x31 Dittos are still one of the things that, like, imagine Ditto farming, making 200k an hour, doing well, being consistent, and then getting a Ditto that's worth like 260k. Like in one 220k, 280k in one fucking fell swoop. It's a good feeling, man. Congrats to this gamer. Next up, wanted to share my PokeMMO progress. Started playing 3 months ago. 1,000 hours in 3 months is absurd. Congratulations. This guy has 1,000 hours played, 40 million Pokeyen in the cash stack, which is crazy in 3 months from scratch. It shows you can grind and fucking can pop up in PokeMMO, but 1,000 hours is pretty extreme, to be fair. Good on you, man. And then 3 OT shinies along the way as well, with a Ponyta, a Donphan, and a Loudred. I like the, like, once again, overviews of someone's whole account. Raging Pushy, thank you for sharing, dude. And then finally, dude, shout out Eevee Flay from Team Boop, who after 14 months of playing, 4,130 hours, almost a 4K year, is ridiculous. I finally have filled a full box of my OT shiny Pokemon. He's got a Charizard in there as well. He's got some good Pokemon. It's not just like Time Swipe Hordes. Not that a box full of Time Swipe Horde shinies would also be fucking beautifully impressive. I love that he has the Shiny Icons mod installed as well. This is beautiful. This is like every... Oh, look at the Mantine. The Mantine sprite looks so good in like the middle right section. Dude, people, this is like a shiny hunter's dream, is to have the full box like this. I think this is like such a good goal to go for. What's the fastest, if you were to do like 30 times 60, this is like the fastest time it could possibly take to achieve this on average would be like 800 hours, excuse me. But realistically, it's going to be a lot longer than that. You know, that Charizard hunt is like 800 encounters or 800 hours on its own, not including like any human error. You know, most people don't play at peak efficiency all the time. I probably play at like 60% efficiency like most of the time. Like, let's be honest, you know, you see my streams. But this is a fucking sick achievement to Eevee Flay, man. Congratulations to you, man. And that wraps up the achievement showcase. We can get into more talking points, discussion, and PokeMMO shenanigans. I have a gym rerun to go do. Let's go get that PokeMMO bread, fellas. Well, alrighty, fellas, I was gonna do a stream recap intro, but more pressing matters have shown upon my hands today, okay? I don't know what happened, but there's a huge new post that reveals a bit more information about what's coming up in the PokeMMO update, the one that will happen before Shiny War, which will also change a lot of the encounters and change a lot of things in that way, okay? We got a little bit more information. So someone was talking about their concern with the update and the timing, but also being really kind and being like, you know what, I trust the devs, yeah, which is like really sweet to see, man. And Rage said, strategizing alongside the new encounter tables is an intentional part of the challenge this year, and it's more important overall than in previous years. A team that plans and coordinates well will likely score better than a team that simply grinds harder. For the rest, this should be able to alleviate your concerns a bit. Note that it is still a work in progress, and this is a placeholder for morning-only data. The final release may look a little bit different, but we are getting percentage wild odds in the... I've talked about this for like 3 years. For like years. The devs do listen with this, some of this stuff. It takes time, and it's a slow-moving process, but this has been talked about for years on my channel. The adding of percentages, extra data. Yes, Xanarchy. This is like Xanarchy's wet dream come true, dude. Like, this is the PokeMMO nerds' favorite thing, dude. Not rare, not very rare, not common, but straight percentage odds in the wild, depending on the time of day, depending on the season. This is going to give us so much more data and control and information as the players, so much more agency as the players to choose what shiny hunts we want to do and when and why and all that jazz, dude. This is an amazing Pokedex overhaul that in my opinion, we've needed for a while. So I'm just, yeah, Xanarchy literally replied, that's so funny. I didn't even see this yet, I swear. Yeah, the percentages, man. The percentages are so beautiful. I've talked about, if you know in PokeMMO, there's the Bagon shiny hunt, right? And if you don't, unless you talk to people, if you're like a single player, right? If you go check the Bagon encounter, the Bagon Pokedex, right? It says rare and lore in Meteor Falls. Usually you don't single encounter shunt rare Pokemon. Usually you egg hunt them. But for some reason, Bagon is a 20% chance spawn in Meteor Falls, at the back of Meteor Falls. It's a 20% chance encounter. That is single encounter shuntable. This literally changes the method of how you shunt Bagon, even though something like a Charmander or something else would be like a lore encounter, and that would be like considered rare, right? There are tons of other like rare spawns. I'm just gonna find an example really quick. Most of these are lures. They've been changed to be lures these days, to be fair. What's another rare spawn, chat? But there are like Pokemon that are considered rare, but they're not actually rare. They'll be like 5%. A Pokemon could say rare in the Pokedex, and that could range anywhere from like 5 to 20% encounter rate. And that monstrously changes, you know, how often you see that Pokemon. I think a good example might be Sudowoodo. Sudowoodo over at Route 210 is a rare encounter, and it's around 5%, which is what you'd normally expect. So to finally be getting hardline percentages is a really, really massive deal. This will get its own video because this is huge news. It's a Pokedex overhaul incoming. This is massive, massive news. It'll also be featured in the stream recap if you're watching there. If you've already seen the video, you can go ahead and skip over this segment, obviously. But yeah, just massive, massive news, man. The Pokedex overhaul is coming, fellas. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe, yada yada, all that jazz. Have a great day. Do you think the release of the encounter percentages like alpha spawns will dramatically affect the economy? Specific Pokemon can fall to the wayside due to overhunting. Like, I'm thinking release of encounter percentages. I don't think the percentages will change the economy. I think that the encounter changes might change the economy. I didn't even think about that. I would mostly focus on like shiny hunting and like shiny war and the meta and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me like if something like Nincada becomes harder to farm and people need Shedinja, you know, like things like that for shiny war. It's possible that encounter changes affect the economy, but that is just a big box of who knows. That is just a massive, massive, massive random grab bag of we won't know until the changes happen, and we see, and I'll make tons of videos talking about money making methods and shiny hunting changes and tons of things like that when we see that update, when the encounters actually change. Dude, one of my favorite questions, fucking egotistically in chat, is when someone says, Patrouski, is this the main account or the Ironman account? And I get to say Ironman account because, I mean, that's the whole point of this series. The whole point of this challenge is to progress the account so far with the massive restriction to where it looks like it's my main account. You can't even tell the difference, right? That's the whole goal, right? It's the equivalent of asking a gym bro who is natty, like, hey man, like, well, you know, what roids do you use? What, you know, are you on HGH? Like that is the greatest compliment to a gym bro, is someone assuming they're on fucking stuff when they're natty like that. It's kind of like, if I'm not gonna lie, it feels like that in the nerdiest, most turbo online way possible for my MMO account. You know, pretty much basically a gym bro, guys. That's what it feels like. It's a funny analogy, but that's the best one I got, man. I'm getting a lot of questions about like, Patrouski, what do you think is going to happen in the encounter changes coming up, right? What's your prediction? And like, I think maybe far-fetched, because that's like, it's the biggest thing is like shinies. The biggest thing you could predict is like shinies that are like on that cusp of the next tier, they kind of bump up. So like Sentret is like a tough shunt. Maybe we see like a seasonal short-term like ×3 Sentret horde. I could see that happening. It's like a weird like single encounter hunt. I could see like far-fetched getting an easier shunt, but I think that's been teased a little bit, but I don't know if it's in my head or not. It's hard to say. I don't feel comfortable making many predictions about upcoming encounter change. We've never seen them make encounter changes like this before. Whenever they've made encounter changes previously, it's with a purpose in mind. This is just to like freshen things up, okay? So like previously, they added encounters with Johto, right? With Johto, almost everybody predicted like a Miltank Timeswipe Horde. I predicted, I talked about a Miltank Timeswipe Horde because Miltank is a Gen 2 Pokemon. It's currently a female-only egg hunt, but not many people hunt it because it's so expensive and difficult to do still, and it's not really quite worth it, but it's a really cool shiny. Like, what do we do about this, right? And everybody kind of knew, everybody basically knew that there was going to be a times 5 Miltank horde, right? But we had more information. We just don't have, we've never seen something like this. And we've seen them switch up like the encounters based on when Dynamo became like a 10% or 10 or 20% spawn, right? As opposed to before it was like a 50% spawn. They changed that to correlate. They changed certain hordes to correlate with the wild single encounters because Dynamos are rare in Mistral and Cave. They've changed the encounters a lot in the past. Back in the day, Heracross actually had a times 5 horde for a little bit. It's very easy to forget that. There was an old meme of Heracross used to have a times 5 horde. And then but that didn't last very long. And then there was something else I wanted to mention. One more encounter. Oh, one other encounter change was when they added more encounters into the pools of certain hordes. So like Larvitar used to just be Larvitar and Onyx. And I think now it's Larvitar, Onyx, Traveler, right? And like Dratini in Dragon's Den used to just be, I'm like rooting my Jimmy run, but it's okay. It's worth it for the talking bit. Dratini used to just be Dratini and Magikarp. Talk to your gamers and they will, well, even actually beyond that, Dratini for the first 2 to 4 weeks of Johto's release, Dratini was a 50-50 shunt between Dratini and Magikarp. So if you were fast, got the Johto storyline done, and did the Dratini shunt, you would have saved a lot of time. You would have saved a lot of time doing it like really early versus a little bit later. But that was just better for balancing, right? I think it was good, yeah. But it was good to nerf the Dratini shunt like that. I think it made a lot of sense because before that, Dratini was like a single encounter fishing hunt over at Dragon Spiral Tower. Fun fact, at the old best payday spot in the game. So Dratini is a good example of a Pokemon that has changed like its optimal encounters so much over the past like few years even. But like they added like Horsey into that pool. Dratini, Magikarp, Horsey, right? So that's pretty sick. I lost my train of thought. I think that was my ramble. They've changed it, basically TLDR, they've changed encounters a ton in Pokemon history, but we don't have any basis on what they're changing them for Shiny War, as opposed to just shaking things up. So it's really, really hard. This is the hardest it's ever been to predict what new encounters will happen, and I almost think it's like fruitless to even try to predict. I would just recommend waiting until the changes happen and let's explore. I'm excited to explore the new update together. Someone asked Patrouski, will Leppa berries go up during Shiny War? And it's hard to say with stuff like this. I don't like drawing predictions. I always tell people, like, I'm not a financial advisor. You need to make your own decisions, your own calls. But we can talk about history, and I can show information and spread, hopefully, knowledge and stuff like that on the facts that we do have. The facts that we do have is that Shiny War has only happened twice in Pokemon history, okay? Once in 2024 in about August. So this is not right, about August. And it seems like prices were not affected at all. In the first Shiny War, Leppas stayed around 850 Pokeyen a berry. Prices do not seem to really be affected much here at all. And it did turn out that Leppa berry shiny hunting was like one of the best strategies during that era. So for that to not affect is kind of interesting. And then next up, we saw a second Shiny War in July 2025. And here we do see a really big spike. So it's good to show both of these. The first year, we saw zero change in Leppa prices, right? The second year, we see a massive jump right around Shiny War's release from 777 or so Pokeyen per Leppa up to 891. So a 120-ish, 120 Pokeyen jump during War. That's pretty significant. You also see an increase in Leppas in the market around that time, which is kind of nuts that the price and the supply went up, which implies that people were farming to try to meet the supply, and the supply was so high. The demand. The demand was so high that it couldn't get met, which is crazy. What will happen this year? It already spiked a little bit around the official announcement of Shiny War. So it's already spiked from like 30 or so. Like it's already spiked like 70 or so, 50 to 70 Pokeyen. Will it go up higher? Will it go back to now, but that's on like 750 or so? Will it go up to that like 800, 900 Pokeyen mark per Leppa? Who's to say? I don't know, but that's the history. Hope that helps you, inform your decision a little bit. Alrighty, fellas, the plan is to do a lot more shunting on Monday, I think. I'm going to get my encounters up before Shiny War because arbitrarily I want to do so. But that's going to go ahead and wrap things up for today's stream recap. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like the video, as always, if you did enjoy it. Dislike if not. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO videos. Follow me on Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday. Well, kind of. Recently, it's been pretty fluid, but I will be live Sunday and Monday coming up. If you want to go above and beyond, support the channel, you guys know the drill. Links down below. It's greatly appreciated during Shiny War. Above and beyond support really allows me to do competitions and events like this. So thank you so much, guys, for allowing me to be here. Most importantly, have a great day. Hope you learned something. Hope you laughed. Hope you cringed. Whatever. Have a good time playing PokeMMO. I'll see you guys later. Peace, Arito. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here, and I wanted to say thank you so much to everybody's name who is on this list. You really allow me to make the content that I do every single day, and I hope I can make it worth your guys' while and add to your PokeMMO journey. Thanks again so much for watching the entire video, and have a great day.